to the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. For the G's, by the G's, que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo, a huevo. Doesn't matter where you from, Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere, todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos, empurgamos, soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas, bienvenidos de nuevo a La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love for all of you guys, wherever you may be, you LA Galaxy fans. Man, it is good to be back with you guys once again. Today, we're going to be joined by a special guest, the host of the RSL show, Alex Napoles, who will be here to help us break down and preview everything you need to know before the Galaxy hosts the Conference Leaders RSL on Saturday. Pero antes de ir con Alex, let me go ahead and bring back my co-host, El Gitano Perdido, the SADA winner, y el yerno guapo, Ananda Kirana. ¿Cómo estás, papá? I see you wearing that jersey. Congratulations on getting to another final.
I mean, como dice tu mujer, Roberto, la suerte del campeón, ¿no? And it was on full, I mean, like, bien full, papa, display the other day. I mean, those things don't happen to another team in the Champions League other than Madrid. I mean, it's just it's crazy, right? How that stuff happens. Like, never happens to any of our English teams, for example, in the league or anything like that. Well, maybe you back in the day in the late 90s, but early 2000s. But yeah, exactly, right? Minuto 90 Fergie, we have Minuto 90 Ramos, Minuto 90 Don Carlo. I mean, however you want to put it, right? But crazy stuff. A semifinal for the ages, really. That easily could have been a final, right? And it'll be interesting to see now against Dortmund, who's had an amazing Champions League run of their own. That should be a great game on June the 1st, where I will actually be in Spain, Papa. So that'll be interesting. Although I'm going to be on the Blaugrana side, which is going to be interesting. So I'm in enemy territory, but that's okay. You know, la resistencia is bien ahí, está muy bien ahí. So yeah, again, just crazy. I'm sure all of you guys that are football fans, you know, that is the magic of the Champions League. And you know, that's why the big bucks are there. But we're here to talk about LA Galaxy. And first of all, Papa, like, I just got to say, man, that last 100th episode that we did with the podcast Avengers, I mean, I don't know how we're going to top that. I mean, that was a beautiful moment. Just great. Like, can I just say that was great punditry on all of our behalves? Like, that was just amazing.
We don't top it. We can't. We just have other beautiful experiences, you know?
Speaking of beautiful experiences, you'll talk about a beautiful experience that we'll have coming shortly here in a few days. So that may top that. At least I'm going to speak on your behalf now, because I know this has been a dream of yours, and I'm pretty sure you're going to cry the next pod. Yeah, but you know, anyways, so yeah, that was great, and thank you guys and girls for, you know, being with us for this 100. We're now in 101. And yeah, I just had to kind of relive that for one last moment before we started this pod. But Baba, we got a lot of things to get to today. Tough game this weekend. Let's look forward to it with Alex. He'll be jumping on here in about 20 minutes or so. You got a lot of shout outs and announcements because we didn't really do any last time. We just wanted it to be about the panel, right? So let me get into housekeeping real quick. You guys can always follow, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. By the way, Robert, like, homework for the folks that do want to stalk. Shout out to Comments SC, man, because you know, he put one on me today in the X sphere, and I'm like, damn, like, he keeps receipts, Baba. He's a bad man.
The chat thing where it messes up on it too. Yeah, I saw it too.
That was bad.
You gotta have receipts. You gotta have receipts.
You gotta have you know about this. You know about this in our group chats. Yeah, we gotta have receipts. Just in case we need to pull them out and you know, put people in their rightful place. But no, shout out to you, Matt. That is how you stock, Papa. That's how you do it. So guys, go ahead and do that. And of course, yeah, I mean, you guys can always follow us on all of our socials at La Cuna Galaxiana is the handle. Again, guys, 100 shows in, and we've had such a blast doing this YouTube channel. So if you do like what you're hearing, and if you're having as much fun as we are recording these, definitely give us a subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you will know when we have awesome guests on, like Alex today, and someone very special that we'll have next Monday.
Yay.
And of course, hit the like button. Again, we got to play the YouTube algorithm here. So before we forget, and if any of the VP of likes are in the chat, go ahead and hit that like button. And of course, Papa, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiano número 101. And let's on our way to another 100. And yeah, long live that. So over to you, man.
Like 103, 104, who
Yeah, 100-ish.
Set count. Nah, on the real, like Neta, I think it's like 104. But you know what? Like, even if it was the 100th episode celebration, like, not everybody celebrates their birthday on their birthday, so we can party whenever.
Yeah.
Join us to you as well. Thank you for hanging with us once again.
Thanks, Ramizes.
So Ananda was being coy, but I'm just gonna let you guys know what it is. Yeah, Monday we have Joe Tutino. I can't even speak. I'm so excited. And it's just like Ananda said, it's like one of those things that I might cry about, man, because he's one of the reasons that I became a journalist, and it's damn, I can't even put it in words, man.
It's gonna be
crazy.
epic.
It's crazy, man. And he was just so nice about hooking up, and we're like, we were chatting, him and I, and everything I floated him, he was like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, wow, like so gracious with his time, and looking forward to it. But anyway, that's one, like Ananda said, I'll probably cry, but it'll be one of those that I can knock off the bucket list. And it's funny because I've told Ananda a million times that when I'm at the stadium and I'm in the press box, like I've walked by Kobe, I've walked by like a bunch of different people, I've walked by, national pundits like Taylor Twellman and stuff like that. And the only person I really get starstruck by is Joe. And, he came up and talked to me one time. I think it was like one of the first times that I was there. And he asked me a question about another soccer game that was on there. And I was just like, oh man, don't say anything stupid, like to myself. Fortunately, I think I came out okay because, he's going to join us on Monday. So anyway, be with us on Monday. Joe Tutino will be here. It's my dream come true. Hopefully it's yours to hang with them too. So we'll see you guys on Monday for that. We announced last week that we were giving away some t-shirts. We're giving away 2 of them, 2 extra larges. And this is, of course, one of the other like biggest G's. We just talked about Joe, one of the biggest G's out there, and then one of the other biggest G's out there. If we had like a Mount Rushmore that wasn't players, they would definitely be on it. Like it'd be them and Cosmo, and then I don't know who my 4th is, but anyway, we're giving away this t-shirt, Don Raul, with all 5 of his rings, showing them what's up. All you got to do to enter is subscribe to this pod. It's really simple. If you're already subscribed to this pod, all you got to do is make your subscription public. So we can go ahead and see your subscription and then be eligible for the drawing. If you don't make it public, we can't see it and you can't enter. But we will go ahead and do the drawing for 2 different t-shirts next week. Hopefully we'll be announcing that on Monday on the Joe Tutino episode. And then good luck to you guys. Hopefully you win, because this t-shirt is fire. Letting them know what's up. All 5 rings right there, Don Raul. So we'll announce the winner on May 13th, and then the winner, when they hear their name, will send us an email and proof of sub. Good luck to you guys. May the odds be ever in your favor, Katniss. We got the next big away trip that I always look forward to every year, and it's the Stanford game. The Galaxy goes up north and plays San Jose every year at Stanford Stadium. This year, it's happening on June 29th, and ACB is putting together a bus trip This is going to be one bus, I believe. So far, it's going to be an overnight bus trip. It leaves the 29th. It returns on June 30th. The fee includes the game ticket and the bus ride. So go ahead and hook up with ACB if that interests you, and go ahead and get to an away trip. I promise you, they are super fun. Moving along, Joseph Painstill, he got recognized with something we already knew. Dude is fast. He is the fastest player in MLS, apparently. He was clocked at 35.8 kilometers per hour or 22.24 miles per hour. But yeah, like I said, telling us something we kind of already knew. Dude is very fast. But now we know he's officially the fastest. So congratulations, Joseph Painstill. Shout out as well to Julian Aude. He won Young Player of the Match Day, 22 under 22, along with 4 other MLS players. This previous game against Seattle, he completed 35 of 42 passes, won 2 of 2 dribbles, won 7 of 10 ground duels, and made 5 of 5 tackles, plus had 5 clearances amid 13 overall defensive actions. He's just looked stellar all year, man. Like, I remember I spoke to him at the CVI, and he told me something that Greg had told him, that he just needed to be consistent on the defensive side. And I think he's showing that, man. I think he's showing why the Galaxy, went out and got him. Last year he was much aligned. And I think this year it's evident to all that he's improved. Ananda, any thoughts on Julian here?
Yeah, I mentioned it last show with the panel. I mean, he's the one player that's gotten consistently stronger and better throughout the season, right? I think his performances have gotten better. Even his FOTMOP ratings and stuff have gotten better throughout the season. He's been a lot more consistent on the defensive end. When he's been asked to attack in sort of that left space, he's done well on that as well. Like I mentioned, I'd love to see more in the attacking spaces and him get a few more assists, because I feel like he has the capacity to do that. Robert, remember his first. You remember from last year, his first assist of, I believe, his LA Galaxy career was the 3-2 loss. Well, I think 3-2 or 3-1. Can't remember. The loss against LAFC at home. That was the first game.
3-2.
Yeah, 3-2. And he made that. It was a late goal, but he made that run up the left-hand side. That was to a Mark Delgado tap in. So he has a capacity to do that. And yeah, so I would love to see more in attacking positions for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've been living on him. I part of it is the Argentinian accent, and I love speaking to Argentinians and Uruguayans.
Boludo.
Tienes de cantado, boludo. Pero, like he's a very humble guy too. Whenever I've had the opportunity to speak to him, so congratulations to him. Other young G's we need to shout out. A couple of U15s, Eddie Chadwick, Mateo McLean, and Max Stewman were each called up to the U.S. Men's Youth National Team camp in Croatia, so they'll be joining the U15s here. And then Colin Mullins was called up to the U14 Armenian national team. That camp will be in Armenia between the 8th and 14th of May, while the U15s will be out in Croatia between the 10th and the 20th of May. Congratulations to those guys. It's always an honor to represent your country. Good luck to you guys. Sportico has revealed the world's most valuable clubs. It's crazy because MLS has 20 in the top 50. And then 5 teams in the top 20, Ananda. The Galaxy are at number 19. They're valued at $1 billion. But it's crazy to me that, the Galaxy is valued higher than say like a legacy club in England like Newcastle or it just blows my mind, that not only are there 5 in the top 20, but there's 20 in the top 50. It's a testament to the growth of the league. And of course, obviously it's something that Don Garber loves to see,
Yeah.
So
that's super interesting. And even I mean, for only being 6 years now in the league, I mean, LAFC is valued higher than us, which is, I don't like seeing LAFC above us in any table or any chart whatsoever, but that's a little surprising to me too, that they have. I'd love to see what goes into these computations too, because I have no insight into that whatsoever. But
no, it's definitely interesting. I mean, it could be it could be like different variables, like Do they own the land the stadium is on? Do they own the
Sure.
stadium itself? Like,
Yep.
how much are they getting in sponsorship rights? Like, they just switched a couple years ago to BMO, so it's like,
Yeah.
how much did BMO shell out for that? So it could be a bunch of different things, but the Galaxy is number 19. They're valued at $1 billion, a cool $1 billion. It's one of those things that you just kind of like shake your head at and go, who would have thunk a Galaxy team is they're valued at $1 billion. So yeah, we'll get more information on that. I'm interested to see what actually goes into that, like Ananda said. But guys, one of the ones that we've called out a couple of different times, stadium giveaway days is coming up in 2 days against RSL. It is Star Wars night. The Galaxy will transform into the Star Wars Galaxy on Saturday with Star Wars music and sound effects throughout the stadium, and more than 30 characters from the franchise of Star Wars roaming around the digs during the game. Fans are welcome as well to dress up. So Ananda, it's an opportunity to dress up as a Jedi or baby Grogu, whichever you want to do. I know you like Baby Yoda there, so maybe you'll dress up as Baby Yoda. But yeah, you guys can dress up as your favorite Star Wars themed character. The only thing they say is that you can't have your face covered except when seated. You can bring just any articles of clothing, but like props like lightsabers and blasters are prohibited. Galaxy will also give away 10,000 LED light up foam sticks and a limited edition poster at Soccer Fest by LA Galaxy fan and so-called artist Isaiah Takahashi. This is Anand, have you seen this video yet? How he makes this?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. Goes to Home Depot, gets all stuff, and just puts it all together.
Jesus, man, it is intensely cool, like, to see the finished product, especially when you see the video and how he does it. But anyway, yeah, they're going to be giving away I believe it's 5,000 of ththese posters, and then of course Jalen Neal Rebel Pilot bobblehead will be part of a ticket pack offer that'll be $15. Yeah, man, a lot of good stuff happening at the game on Saturday. Other ticket pack offers coming up are May 25th. We have the Ricky jersey pillow offer against Houston. So if you're a big Ricky head, go ahead and pick this one up. There we go. So look at that. That is precious. So you can feel like you're cuddling with Ricky every evening. Then we have a Maya bobblehead also available that same day, May 25th. $5 of each ticket sold will be donated to the Japanese American National Museum and Japan American Society of Southern California. And also the same day, as if there wasn't enough going on, you can also go ahead and get your LA Galaxy yoga on. There's a yoga night package on the same night against Houston. The first 250 tickets bought through this yoga night package get a pregame yoga class by Yoga 6 Long Beach, rather, and that happens at Galaxy Park at 4:30. And then you also get an LA Galaxy yoga massage ball set. So yeah, if you're into yoga and you're a G, go ahead. This looks, I guess they're trying to do stuff for everybody, man.
Hey, I was gonna say, shout out to
Mm-hmm.
who would this be under? Tom Braun or ODL or whoever does the ticket sales, right? Shout out to you guys. You guys are thinking out of the box, and this, you're making a clear effort here. So I think A for effort for this one. I've not seen this one pulled off. So this is interesting, man. Like, way to go.
I low key wanna go to it. Just get my yoga on.
Sorry, I probably should, because I am so unflexible. Like, I've been talking to my wife about doing this because I have horrible flexibility. Yeah, it just happens. But yeah,
let's do it. Hey, all y'all in the chat. If I get 10 likes for Ananda going to yoga night, he'll go to yoga night. I'm volunteering him.
Instead of G's Run LA, it's G's Yoga LA. There you go.
Ooh, I like that too. About it. Well, this Saturday we're gonna have the LA Galaxy Foundation equipment sale. I'm trying really hard to stay away. You get a chance to score team issued or team worn gear, guys. You find some really, really good stuff. Like at the last one, I saw someone pull off a Zlatan warm-up top. Come on, man. Like, where else are you gonna have the opportunity to just like randomly find a Zlatan warm-up top? just the equipment sale. So go ahead and check it out. And then when you purchase anything from there, not only is it a tax write-off, but all proceeds benefit the LA Galaxy Foundation, which means you're also doing good for the world as well. So go ahead and hit that one up. Don't tell me about it though, because I'm going to feel sad that I missed it. Shout out to the Sad Girl Sisters. Mother's Day is coming up, and if you haven't gotten anything, then you need to run to the Sad Girl Sisters. They're doing chocolate dipped strawberries, pasteles, flower arrangements. Ooh. So go ahead and hit them up. Head over to their Instagram for more info, because I know a bunch of y'all didn't get gifts yet. So go ahead and hit them up. Comments SC, man, they're dropping more fire. If you're watching this, if you're watching this later, whatever it is, you see this beautiful card up on the screen, El Tanque, with that beautiful Ecuadorian flag just behind him. He has the set out right now. He has El Tanque, Donovan Ricketts, Jonathan Dos Santos, and of course the Truth, Jalen Neal. Go ahead and hit up their website so you guys can cop that, or hit up Matt on Black Galaxy Fans Comments SC on Twitter and arrange with him to go ahead and get these, because you need them. They're fire. G's Run LA, they're doing something a little bit different here. They're doing speed interval workouts, as if I didn't need to get like oxygen pumped into me last time. Now they're doing speed interval workouts. Whew, I'm winded just thinking about it. Anyway, that'll happen at Downey High School track on Monday, May 13th at 6:45 p.m. So it'll be a little bit different from their normal runs that they do, but still very much worth checking out. G's Run LA, check it out, y'all. There's some Galaxy watch parties happening. Of course, we brought you this one already. The Yamava 909 Sports Bar Experience on May 18th. It's a VIP viewing experience for $30. You get transportation to and from Yamava. VIP seating for the watch party, a $15 food credit, a modelito, and a $20 gaming credit for new Serrano members. If you have any questions, hit up fan engagement at lagalaxy.com. Congrats to the LA Galaxy Academy for winning 2 Traficitos. The U15s pulled off a 1-0 shutout win over LAFC, while the U17s pulled off a 4-2 win over LAFC. Congratulations to both U15 and U17 for winning those Traficitos. And of course, here is your VCFC update. Ananda, I think I've trained myself into saying VCFC and not Galaxy 2. So I knew I could do it.
Nice.
Yes. So somewhere, you know, I've been blessed, and now I have it in my mouth, right? VCFC. Well, guys, they dropped down the table. They're currently in second place. Their next game, however, is on the road against Minnesota on May 12th. That happens at noon. You can catch it on MLSnextpro.com. But their next home game will be on Sunday, May 19th. It'll be their home opening date at 5 p.m. when they host Real Monarchs. Coincidentally enough, our guests for today, Alex, will probably know quite a bit about Real Monarchs. Tickets for that are now on sale at for the home opener at the Willy Roll. $15 for GA, $20 for premium, and season tickets go for $170. They're having a competition for tickets on this one. Go ahead and enter or find out how to enter at VCFC's Instagram. 10 people will get tickets to the May 19th game. That's 4 of them. And then 40 people will be given a Ventura County FC MLS Next Pro scarf. Ananda, I've told you a bunch of times, man. We got to get to one of these, man.
Yeah. I mean, they're giving out swag and scarves and stuff. But real quick, Robert, before we bring our guest on, because you like to do this on me all the time, these unsolicited announcements that you don't tell me. I do have one quick announcement, because I was so excited I had to share this. But I did pick up a so shout out FU USA. Whoa. Exactly. FU, that's Frank Hugh is the artist's name. So I did pick up one of the shirts that I think I said it on Twitter, but it's a beautiful sort of Japanese inspired shirt. That's what it looks like.
Clean.
In the front right there. But look at the back. Look at the back, Papa. Look at the back. It's a absolutely fire shirt with Astro Boy, Mario, Kirby. So you asked me if I was gonna be Baby Yoda, but I'm actually gonna be dressed up in this getup here.
They not like us.
But yeah, shout out FU USA, man. You guys, no, I'm always about shop small. So there's so many great and talented Galaxy artists out there in the community. Go ahead and support them. No shade on the team. No shade on the Team LA store, the Galaxy store. But guys, support small. I mean, these guys are supremely talented, and go ahead and support them for sure.
I mean, you see me with my Lakers shirt from
Fire
Labs, right?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, man. Like everything that I've seen that they've put out has been exceptional. You've seen Galaxy players even wearing some of their stuff already, so it's clean. That's all I gotta say. And then, like Anana said, support the Galaxy small businesses out there.
Yep.
You can go ahead and nominate one of these small businesses for Small Businesses of the Month. And then also, before I forget, and before we introduce our guest for the day, please go ahead and support LA Taco. If you guys haven't heard, they're going through a membership drive right now, and they need the help. They are in year 20 of providing independent journalism here in Los Angeles. Food, culture, everything about Los Angeles, you know where to get it, LA Taco. But they need your help. But subscriptions are as low as, I believe, $5.99 a month. So it really is just una hamburguesita that you'd be giving up, and go ahead and share the love to LA Taco and ensure independent, good journalism here in Los Angeles for time to come. Pero, speaking of good journalism, aquí te traemos nuestro invitado del día, our special guest from Utah. Man, he just looks so happy in this picture with Chicho, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Pero desde Utah, please welcome our special guest, Alex Annapolis. He's the host of the RSL show, producer for KSL Sports Zone, commentator for KSL Sports Rewind, and has appeared on El Show RSL. Bienvenido, Alex. How are you, bro?
Hey, guys. Doing good, and thanks for the invite. Good to talk some soccer.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for being
here. It's a pivotal weekend for both these teams because both these teams are towards the top of the table. And I think they're going to go hard at it, but RSL's in first. What is the feeling like? How's it been like on the ground there? What have you seen the fans say? Like, are they excited? What's going on out there, man? Dinos.
Definitely excitement. It's been a while since Real Salt Lake has been fighting for the top spot in the Western Conference. First time since 2013 since Real Salt Lake has held sole possession of first place at the top of the West. And so it's been a minute since we've seen Real Salt Lake have the success that they've had so far this year. And we're all very excited for the potential that this team has and the excitement that this team is bringing to the community for sure.
A ver, quiero saber, in the offseason, right? Because RSL did pretty well last year as well. I mean, they were a threat towards the end of the season. But in the offseason, did you feel this coming already? Did you know that this team was going to be, like a powerhouse offensively and in first place right now? Did you see it coming, or were you thinking a little bit more modestly?
I'm gonna be honest. No, I did not see this coming. I don't want to say shocked, but very impressed with what Real Salt Lake have been able to do. Definitely, there was a lot of concerns in the offseason as far as depth goes, as far as our defense goes. But those questions were quickly answered as the season started, and we're all super excited for how this team has started the season.
What do you think the difference has been? Obviously, Chicho's going off. Which I just said you look super happy in that picture with them. I don't know when was that, by the way.
That was, I think, the week after he signed officially. We were lucky enough to sit down in a room with him and get to interview him, get to know him a little bit, and that was like a week after he joined.
Wow, man, qué lindo.
Hey, I would be that happy too. Just the way you guys got him. I think it was a huge coup and just happened like right place at the right time, right? So yeah, congrats to you guys because he's a hell of a player.
He's fantastic, and definitely something that Real Salt Lake has needed for a really long time because we haven't had a striker like Arango since probably Saborio, who played with Real Salt Lake from up until 2015. And so we've been begging the front office for a striker, a lethal striker, a good striker like Arango, and we're very lucky and fortunate to have him here in Salt Lake.
Well, what do you think the difference has been? Like I mentioned, Chicho came last year. The team was pretty good towards the end of the year, but this year they just seem like on another level. What do you think has changed or they've done differently from last year to this year?
Honestly, the the biggest changes has been obviously Chicho Arango. But I just don't want to put it on his shoulders, because honestly, looking at where we were last year compared to where we are now, there was a lot of changes in the coaching staff over the offseason. Completely fired Pablo Mastroeni's assistants, brought in a whole new group of assistants, and I think the ideas that they've brought into this team tactically, the way that they approach, the way that this team wants to play, it's night and day from what we saw last season. And I think that is honestly the biggest reason why we're seeing the success that Real Salt Lake has had so far.
Alex, can we speak about you real quick?
Sure.
Can we bring it personal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hablemos de ti un momentito. All right. No, I just wanted to find out, like, I had my come to Jesus moment with covering soccer, and like when I decided I wanted to, cover soccer. But I love asking, my colleagues, out there, what was that moment like for you? When did you decide that you wanted to cover this crazy sport, and dedicate your life to ball?
I think I started this back in 2022, where I was unemployed, didn't have anything going for me, if I'm being honest. And one day I just hit up El Show RSL, and I said, "Hey, I speak Spanish. Do you guys need help? Like, I'd love to help cover Real Salt Lake." They gave me the opportunity, and I just kind of started going from there. Did some Spanish coverage for about 6 months, and then I joined the RSL show. Moved with them pretty quickly, and then from there I became a producer here in Salt Lake City with KSL, who's the local affiliate for NBC here. And so now I'm just working news and working RSL, and it's amazing.
It's interesting because you said you had nothing going for you, but out of great hardship comes great opportunity, and it's beautiful, like how it ends up. Now you get to talk about ball and produce and stuff like that. That's awesome, man. So I did see you on some homies of our show yesterday, the Nag Boys. You're with Edgar, right? So I caught that, and you did. I do remember you speaking about the fact that RSL needed that striker, right, and Chicho, and that's kind of like what's brought it up there. But Chicho aside, finish this sentence for me. RSL needs a blank in the transfer window.
Look, they have an open DP slot, and I think that there's a couple of positions that DP slot can be used to really reinforce this team, because we've already had this successful start. And I think in the transfer window, they could be using that DP slot to bring in an extra center back. We've had a lot of hardship at center back so far this year, and bringing in a really, really good defender could change this team drastically, as well as maybe adding a little bit more depth up top. We've already seen a lot of our youngsters step up, but maybe adding like maybe a DP winger or a DP 10 sitting under Chicho Arango could really take this team to another level. Super excited for what this team decides to do in the summer window.
That's kind of scary. I did not know that you that RSL had a DP spot available. You listed off a couple different positions. Is there for you personally a dream signing? I mean, Ananda's been talking about Grizzi coming to the Galaxy for like 6 months now, right? That's his dream.
That's my agenda,
for you,
though. Don't listen to me.
but for you, who would your dream signing? You mentioned a 10. Who would your dream 10 be?
There's rumors that Marco Royce is looking at Major League Soccer, right? So we might as well use that DP slot to bring in Marco Royce, right? Huge fan of Marco. Would absolutely love him to beat Real Salt Lake. Probably will never happen, but yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought about who my dream player would be to bring in.
Well, since we're talking about Marco, right? He is already said that his last game for Dortmund will be in the Champions League on June 1st. If you notice, Ananda is wearing that famous white Madrid shirt, so he's a Madridista. I don't have a dog in the fight. My team is just terrible. I'm a United fan. So first,
most valuable team in the world, though, Robert, according to your last chart.
Yeah, no, I mean the most valuable.
You're number one in that. Number one in that.
Yeah, Thank God they won something, right? But yeah, man. First, do you have a European team? And then, yeah, no, we'll start there. Do you have a European team?
My European team is the one that I support the most is probably Leicester City. That is
Interesting.
back in high school when
Congratulations on getting promotion.
Thank you. Yeah, back in high school when they won the Premier League, I was like, this is it. This is the team, and I've stuck with them since. I've studied a lot of Real Madrid. I've studied a lot of Liverpool in just the way that they play, but the team that I support and love the most is Leicester.
Anana, do you see this fool Jamie Vardy being like 108 and still banging in goals, dog?
You know what? I would take him over Miguel Berry right now. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
come
yeah,
come to MLS, Jamie.
That's not even a question. But what's so hilarious about Vardy though is that like apparently his pregame meal is like a couple Red Bulls and or like energy drinks, and then like he doesn't really train throughout the week. He just is kind of like just plays around and shit like that. And like his manager's like, hey, okay, you've been banging in goals for years, so I guess I'll just trust you. So but anyway, man, let's go ahead and get into this game proper here. For Galaxy fans who want to catch this match and are not going to be at the digs, that game will be on Apple TV. Unlike last week where all MLS matches were free, this one is behind the paywall, and I didn't see anywhere else that it was being shown. So it looks like if you don't have the MLS Apple package, you won't be watching this unless you're at the stadium. But let's look at where these teams are right now. Through 11 matches, the Galaxy holds a 5-2-4 record, 21 goals for, 17 goals against. They have 19 points, good enough for third place in the Western Conference. They're tied for fifth in the Supporters Shield standings, 5 points back from leaders Inter Miami, but they do have a game in hand. They're averaging 1.73 points per game at the moment, while the conference leaders, Real Salt Lake, have a 6-3-2 record. They have 18 goals for. The stat that impressed me, and we'll ask Alex about here in a moment, is only 9 goals against, which obviously puts them towards the top of the table. They're first with 21 points, and they're averaging 1.91 points per game. Their last match, however, was a 4-2 cup loss against New Mexico United in the U.S. Open Cup. But their last league match was a 1-0 win at home versus Sporting Kansas City. They've actually won 3 straight, and they are unbeaten in 7. Even better, they haven't lost since March 9th, guys. Alex, talk to me about that defense. The Galaxy have had problems all year with set pieces and with transition defense. Doesn't seem like that's the problem over there. You guys have given up 9 goals to the Galaxy's 17. What is this defense doing well?
And that's something that honestly hasn't really started up until maybe until that unbeaten streak started, because earlier in the season there was a lot of moments where this defense was shaky. There was a lot of moments where we were getting beat in transition, and that was one of the biggest questions I had coming into the season was what did we do to improve our defense, because we're pretty much running it back with the exact same starting 4 that we had last year. I had a lot of questions of the defense coming in, but they've really turned it around, and it has a lot to do with the way that the team defends as a whole. In previous years, we would have a Jefferson Savarino who wouldn't drop back and help on the defensive end. We would have players who just wouldn't come back and support defensively. But now I think the center backs are playing with a lot of confidence because they know that their midfield is going to be there to support them. They know that their forwards are going to be dropping back. Chicho Arango even comes back and is not afraid to make a tackle. Right. And so you have the whole team behind the ball defending as a unit. And I think that's what's really changed over the course of the last couple of weeks. And that's what's really made this RSL defense a lot better than it was last year.
Ananda, every time I think RSL, what comes into my head the most is that penalty shootout loss against RSL and the MLS Cup final, I believe, is
2009.
That one hurts me to this day. Do you have a favorite Galaxy RSL moment, Alex?
I mean, obviously you can talk about the final, but I think the one that's seared into my mind is the 2013 playoff series that we played against each other, where we head over to California and we take a 1-0 loss. We bring it back to our stadium, and then there's a free kick from Chris Schuler who puts us back on level terms, and then we head to OT. Somewhere in there, Javier Morales scores from a free kick at the halfway point, and it's called off because of an alleged offside. But it's nonetheless, Real Salt Lake is able to pull it out, and then we make a run to MLS Cup that year, and that's probably my favorite LA Galaxy memory.
Yeah, see, but both bad moments for the Galaxy. But this current match coming up, guys, will be the 59th meeting across all competitions between the teams. LA leads the all-time series 24-2014 against RSL. The Galaxy hold a 2017-12 record in league play, while in 25 MLS league matches played at home, they hold a 14-7-4 record. In the last match, these two teams tied 2-2, and Los Angeles is unbeaten in its last 7 home games, dating back to September 30th, 2017 against RSL, while they're also unbeaten in their last 3 matches against RSL, dating back to October 1st. Decky does his thing against RSL, Ananda, that he has 3 goal involvements, 1 goal and 2 assists. And today, finally, we heard from Greg that he would be available. So, Alex, Greg let us know in the press conference today that the Galaxy is trending towards having everyone available, but I see that RSL has quite a lengthy injury list. Talk to us about this injury list, like what's going on, like if you're gonna have to get in there and hook people up with some meds and stuff like that because they need the help in the med ward. But what's going on there? Like why so many? And then who's the biggest miss from this list?
Why so many? That is a great question that I ask myself every day. We've had a couple of season-ending injuries early on with Kevin Bonilla, Marcelo Silva, Pablo Ruiz. Those are pretty hurtful losses.
Ruiz is a great player.
Ruiz is a great player, and honestly, his loss last season got injured against LAFC in the Leagues Cup match, and so after his injury, we just kind of we weren't the same Real Salt Lake because he's such an important part of that midfield. But I think now, as I mentioned earlier, with the changing to the coaching staff, like Ruiz's injury isn't affecting us as much as it maybe would have last year. But either way, he's a huge loss. Matt Crooks has done some really fun things on the ball. He's a really interesting player and works really well with Arango. He's probably going to be a big loss in the attack, but I think the biggest loss on this list so far is the suspension to Brian Vera. Him and Justin Glad have had such a great partnership to start the year. And we've had injuries, a lot of injuries at center back. The 3 of those guys on that list right there are defenders, and 2 of them happen to be center backs. So we are a little thin on center back at the moment. So that's why that suspension to Vera concerns me.
Ananda, do you have a predicted starting 11 for the Galaxy? Do you think now that Greg has all his horses back, he's going to go with his strongest, which would be inserting Decky back at the 9? Obviously, you're throwing back Ricky and Mark Delgado. What are you thinking about this lineup?
Yeah, I just for the audio listeners too, I pulled up the last starting 11s for the league matches for both sides. So I think the Galaxy one is going to be changed, like you said, Robert, based off of, again, it's funny because I don't know if Greg totally committed to the fact that everyone was back, but it sounded like, I think the words that he used was everyone is trending back, right?
That's what he said. He said he expects to have everyone back because everybody's trending towards being available.
Yeah, so I think he's just trying to cover himself just in case there's a last minute knock in practice and training, whatever.
I won't be mad at him if someone's injured. It's not like I'm gonna be like, Greg lied to me,
You know how Galaxy Twitter is, Robert. Very sad. But anyways, but yeah, so assuming that all of our players are back, I mean, that's going to be a huge boost. I mean, first one that jumps out is obviously Decky for Berry. I mean, I think we've missed Decky these last couple of games. He started the year off on fire. I believe he has 6 goals this season, and he was, up there for the Pichichi of the MLS, right? The top goal scorer. And it's again, my big thing is we had him last game, but man, so happy to have Jalen Neal back in that starting center back position. I think a lot of our defensive deficiencies this year has been due to a lack of speed. Martin Cáceres and Maya Yoshida are great experienced defenders, but let's face it, guys, like their combined age is over 100, right? So we, in terms of dealing with fast, speedy players, which RSL has a couple. I'll talk about them later in another segment. Those are the types of players that give us trouble. So having Jalen back there is really a big boost. And then Mark Delgado, I've talked about him all year. He's been the unsung hero. He started the year off just amazing, on fire. But recently, of course, with a couple niggles, he hasn't. His performances, as you've pointed out to me, man, his performances have kind of regressed back to the mean and sort of his normal level. And I think he was just playing out of his mind the first few games. But he's going to be a big boost as well. Just making those deep lying runs from midfield and creating chaos in the box, and that's what Mark Delgado is known for. So. Yeah, it'll be, I think, hopefully we get to see a full strength squad, man, because we need it against this tough RSL team.
Before I ask Alex about this potential starting lineup, I think that perhaps RSL had their Star Wars night already. Obviously,
yeah, it's an awesome graphic.
Obviously they played on May 4th, which is, May the 4th be with you. But this graphic is really cool because they're all dressed up in like different Star Wars characters. You have Yoda, who's I have glasses on, but I can't read it. Who's that? Brody right there with Yoda Brody on his back. Yeah. That is clean. So shout out for this graphic. But Alex, I looked at the previous couple starting lineups for RSL. In the last match against SKC, Anderson Julio starts. My paisano Ecuatoriano starts for RSL up top. But in the previous match before that, I believe Chicho started up top, and there was a little bit different look in the midfield. What do you think who do you think is going to see the starting 11 for RSL in this match?
Yeah, yeah. I think it really depends on if Matt Crooks is healthy and ready to go. If Matt Crooks is ready and healthy and ready to go, we will see Arango back up top with Crooks sitting underneath him. And then the question for me comes at the left mid position. I don't know if Luna is 100% and ready to go and ready to start this weekend. If he's not, we'll see our 18-year-old Fidel Barajas there on the left. And then at center back, I think we'll probably see Brody Hidalgo, considering that Brian Vera is not available this weekend.
Oh man, super clean graphic. Well, let's go ahead and because we will ask you to give us a prediction in a little bit, but we always want to give the folks facts back out there, and support these educated guesses with numbers, right? So in that mean. Ananda, go ahead and break us off with some stats so we can go ahead and make that informed opinion.
Yeah, Alex, I'm the XG merchant of the duo of this podcast, so you're gonna have to deal with the stat merchant. That is myself. But
yeah, one time he said like, "Oh yeah, this player has like an XG minus X blah 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 of blah blah," and I was like, "Was that English, homie? Like, what'd you say to me?"
But anyways, like a lot of what you've talked about so far, Alex, even without the stats, just from an eye test perspective, you seeing this team every day, I think it backs up a lot of what I saw in the stats in particular. So on the screen for the audio listeners, I have goals per match. So, LA Galaxy and Real Salt Lake, two very potent offenses. LA Galaxy is at 1.9 goals per match. RSL is number 8, but just 0.3 behind at 1.6. Again, two very potent offenses. I think we've seen the Galaxy offense, so I say regress in the last couple of games, and that was due to just lack of availability of attackers. We missed Sadiki Puig the last game, for example. Decky's missed the last couple, so we've seen that number regress, and hoping that it comes back to fruition here. Because the last 2 games we've been shut out, basically, right? Expected goals, if you look at the underlying stats, RSL is also up there along with the Galaxy. We know the Galaxy is has been pretty good consistently all season. So 19.1 expected goals to RSL's 15.1, which is, middle of the table, close to top 10. I think with a killer up there, a matador like Chicho Arango, you expect them to overperform that XG quite a bit if you have such a lethal finisher. You look at big chances, RSL again, only 6 behind the Galaxy at 28 big chances created. LA Galaxy still in the top 3 behind Inter Miami and LAFC at 34 big chances. And the defense, guys, this is the thing for me as a Galaxy fan that's worrisome. RSL's number 1 in the league, both from the the goals conceded per match stat as well as the underlying stats. Look at that, actually conceded only 11.3, and if you mark that up or match that up against the actual goals they've given up, which is 9, they've actually overperformed by 2. And so I was looking at that and saying, okay, like what could that be? And guys, I'm surprised you didn't mention this, Alex, in the beginning, because I want to get your take on this as well. But I think one of the reasons that you guys have been good defensively this season is probably this guy here. You can't really see the graphic there. This is the graphic that The Athletic, I think, posted last week. And I know it's in like 0.2 font there, so I'm going to just narrate it for the listeners. But we're going to see 2 of the top 5 keepers, statistically at least, in the league this weekend, guys, with Zach McMath and John McCarthy. Zach McMath, as you see there, his goal prevention rate is 1.4. I believe that's a per 90 basis. He's prevented almost 4 goals this year. And that's really a really big indicator in terms of goalkeeper performance. John McCarthy was also up there in the top 5. I believe he's actually almost prevented 5 goals this year, but that's also because we give up quite an amount of big chances, as you see in the XG conceded there.
More shots as well.
So yeah, Alex, tell me about Zach McMath, man, because, we've seen some really, really good keepers this year shut the Galaxy out. Brad Stuver had a heck of a game in Austin. Berkey was a thorn in onside. So yeah, give Zach McMath, his flowers and let us know what we're up against this weekend.
Yeah, Zach McMath is the guy that I forget about sometimes because he's just been doing it year after year for us, and he's really improved this year. He a lot better ball distribution, and then he's just always in the right spot at the right time, and he knows he's a veteran goalkeeper in this league. He's been around forever, and funny enough, back in 21, when McMath came in, he was our starter, but then he got dropped for our young goalkeeper, and he was just supposed to be our backup, but then Ochoa left, and then McMath took back the number 1 spot, and we were for I think maybe the last year specifically, we were talking about how we might want to improve our goalkeeper and our goalkeeper position, but he's impressed so far this year. He's made some really, really big saves. He's kept us in matches. There's specifically the Philadelphia one where Philadelphia Union had a lot of good opportunities on the road, or we were on the road at Philadelphia. Philadelphia had a lot of good opportunities, but McMath kept us in that game, and luckily we were able to walk out with a 2-1 win in Philly. And it had a lot to do with McMath, and I think he's only conceded a 1 goal in Philadelphia out of the last 4 matches in league play for him. So he's been on a really good run right now, and I think credit to him, credit to that defense. Very excited for what we're seeing from Zach McMath this season.
I'm glad that we have a moment to give the goalkeepers their flowers, because like Ananda brought up, McCarthy's been doing it too. Almost prevented 5 goals, and just there's a couple of moments every week where this guy just comes up with an incredible save where you're like, wow, I can't believe he made that save. I mean, I catch myself at least once or twice saying that per week. So while these teams can score, I wouldn't be surprised either if both of these keepers stand on their head and it's a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something like that, because that's the ability that these goalkeepers have. But I did just mention these teams can score. They're very potent offenses. Besides Chicho Arango, who has 9 goals and 3 assists, who is the danger man for RSL? Who needs to be on their game for them to have a chance against the Galaxy this weekend?
Aside from Chicho, it needs to be Andres Gomez, our right winger, young Colombian talent, U22 initiative player. He's grown a lot over the course of the last couple months, but he struggles a little bit with consistency, right? He scored 2 goals against LAFC back on week 3, and then he kind of went on this dry spell where he wasn't really assisting, he wasn't scoring, and we were begging for more of Gomez. But I think in the last 3 or so weeks, Gomez has really stepped it up, and he's been a lot more consistent. Found a goal against Chicago, scored against Philadelphia, and he's been creating a lot more in the attack from his wide space. He's very speedy, very quick. Went toe-to-toe with Kai Wagner a couple weeks ago, and he still has a lot to grow. You can see his age sometimes. I think he's only 21, still has a lot of room to improve. But when he's on, he is on, and he can go toe-to-toe with any defender in this league. And so for us to want to have that chance, he's got to create for Chicho. Gomez is going to be one of the biggest keys in this one.
Chat, I don't know if you saw Ananda letting you know, but go ahead and start dropping those predictions into the chat here. Let us know what you're thinking in terms of who's going to come out on top. You've heard a bunch already. But yeah, I actually had Andres Gomez as my guy to watch as well, because everybody knows Chicho's a dangerous player. But when I was scouting RSL, I just started watching him, and I was like, oh, he's going to be a handful, right? 4 goals, 3 assists so far this year. I didn't know it was front loaded there in one game, but still the assists, the ability to create as well for his teammates is always dangerous. For you, Alex, who is the danger man for the Galaxy? Like who are you most wary about?
I'm looking at Dejan, the striker, very physical guy. He's not a guy I like to play against. There was that game against RSL here at America First where I want to say Real Salt walked out with a 1-0 win, but he was just once he subbed in for Chicharito, he was the guy. As soon as he came in, I was like, oh, he's going to score the equalizer, and he did, but it got called off. So thank you, refs, for that one. But Dejan is obviously the guy that I'm looking at. I'm also looking at Pantsil, and I'm looking at Brugman in the midfield. I really, really like Brugman.
Well, today Joseph Paintsil was named officially the fastest man in MLS. So hopefully he goes off and does his thing. Ananda, who has to be on for the Galaxy to get this victory over RSL at home?
Well, I'm going to go back to the earlier conversation we had, and I was nodding my head when we were talking about Gomez, because to me, I like to do these key battles, right, Robert? So to me, let's talk about 2 guys that we've talked about so far in the pod, and that is Gomez against Julian Aude. I think for me, that's a really, really key battle. We talked about this before, Robert. We struggle on the transition defense, but we know that Julian, in certain phases of the game, he likes to join the attack and sort of create those overloads on the left half space with Ricky Puig, or, for example, if Gabriel Peck is playing on that left side, he likes to join up in the attack as well. So the question is, it's going to be really interesting tactically now to see, is Andres Gomez going to pin back Julian Aude to sort of stop that from happening? Or is it going to be the other way around, where actually Julian's actually the one creating the havoc? And now Andres Gomez finds himself in an unfamiliar position of having to defend to sort of stop those overloads happening on his side of the pitch. So I think that's going to be a really, really key battle. The other one is kind of obvious, but I just want to state it because I think it's a really important one as well. Let's see how Jalen Neal handles his first, I think, real test against a guy like Chicho Arango. I mean, this guy's on fire. He did pretty well, I think, against Rui Diaz, but Rui Diaz isn't as on top of his game as a Chicho Arango is. So that's going to be a big test for Jalen, and hopefully he passes it with flying colors.
I'm surprised at both of you guys, because you guys haven't spoken about the prince who was promised.
He's back,
aka Ricky Rocket. Ricky Puig is available again, and he's no slouch. So I'm interested to see what Alex thinks about what he can do against RSL.
Ricky is when he came over to the league, he was one of the guys that I was super excited about, because I've always liked the way that he plays. That dude can create from just about anywhere on the pitch, and he's the most dangerous for sure. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been that 2-2 draw last year where Puig basically put that entire Galaxy team on his back and was just creating left and right and tearing up our midfield. He's obviously one of the obvious guys you want to look out for, and he's a creator that I wish Real Salt had, because pairing him up with a guy like Chicho would be phenomenal.
No. Instead, let's bring Chicho over to the Galaxy. Like no, don't take Ricky from us. Just instead, seat us Chicho. Well, guys, let's look at these power rankings. Every week, MLS releases their power rankings. After a loss and a tie, the Galaxy have moved down to 7th place, while RSL is ranked 3rd behind Miami and Columbus. Ananda, we're going to give some predictions, not for money or anything like that, but of course, some people go out there and bet on these games. So go ahead and give us some betting odds, and then remember, everyone, bet responsibly.
Yeah, so if you guys and gals are betting folks, again, please bet responsibly. These are the betting odds. So the top one there is from DraftKings. So LA Galaxy is at a plus 100. Real Salt Lake is at a plus 250 and plus 255 for the draw. So from an odds perspective, remember the Galaxy are at home. So the bookies are giving Galaxy about a 50% chance of winning the game. RSL, higher than what I've seen from an away team. So 28%. I think that's got to do with their form. That's got to do with, their position in the Western Conference. So yeah, those are the odds. What do you guys think? It sounds about right.
Let's just get down to predictions, man.
Let's do it.
It's a nitty gritty now. Alex, eres nuestro invitado. Gracias por estar aquí. So te vamos a dejar escoger primero what you think this game is going to end up at. Go ahead, give us your prediction.
I like that this matchup. Honestly, I like it better that it is at Dignity Health Sports Park, because Real Salt Lake has been so much better on the road. I don't know why. I don't know what, but we're struggling at home. We haven't been as dominant at home, but we really take it to teams on the road. Philadelphia is a really hard place to play. Real Salt Lake was able to walk in there, take away that undefeated status from Philadelphia, walk out with a win, a big road win too in Chicago. I like our chances better on the road. I think Real Salt Lake will continue to be difficult, a hard team on the road. And I'm feeling a 2-1 Real Salt Lake win in this one, honestly.
Interesting. That you said that was a 2-1?
2-1.
2-1. All right. Ananda. Well, Alex says a 2-1 RSL win. What's your take on this one?
Well, let's put it this way. I might get some slack in the chat for this one, but I don't know why. Again, I think it's just the strength of RSL, especially the strength of Chicho. And I'm going to go with actually a 2-2 draw, Robert. I know our defense has been better. At least I put up the stat there in one of our tweets that in the last game and a half that Jalen's played, we haven't let in a goal, right? So that's positive, but you got to look at the opposition as well and keep things in the context, right? But I think this is going to be a back and forth game. I think both teams are going to put on a show offensively, and I think there's going to be some individual mistakes that are going to let goals happen. I think Chicho getting a goal, I think, is inevitable, despite the brilliance of Jalen Neal and sort of the experience of Maya Yoshida. But we do have the offensive power to get back, firepower to get back. I see this game, even if it's at home, I see this game kind of like the St. Louis game, where it's kind of back and forth, and there was periods of sort of possession and dominance for one team, and then it would kind of switch over. I've said this comment before, Robert, but I'm going to say it again. This is going to be a game of phases, right? There's going to be like 2 or 3 or 4 different phases in this game, again, where one team is on top of the other. But in the end, I think it is going to be a stalemate, which, to be honest, for the LA Galaxy at home, going into a really tough 2-game road trip, I think 2 games in 4 days, if I'm not mistaken, we do need a really positive result. But I don't think a point is the end of the world, but I feel like it's going to be 2 points loss more than 1 point gain, especially if it's at home. But yeah, 2-2 for me, man. I think this is going to be a tough game, a lot tougher than people expected. And the one last thing I'm going to say too, Robert, is we always go back to this with the LA Galaxy, game management. We saw it against San Jose, up 3-0. We would love to kill these teams off early, right? If you get a lead, like, stay dominant. I don't know if maybe that's just how the dynamics of MLS is, but I think game management is again going to be an issue for us this game. And yeah, I think we're going to come out of there with a point.
And ye have little faith. Before I give you my prediction, let's go ahead and read some of these out here from the chat. Tony Toscano says a 3-2 Galaxy win. we have Ramizes was going to say 3-2, but he forgot that Jalen the Truth Neal's on the field, so he's calling a 3-1. And of course, we have our good friend in front of the show, Mo Football TV, calling a 2-2. So he agrees with you, Nanda, for a 2-2. I, however, am going to disagree with you both. I spoke to Joseph. Well, we all spoke to Joseph Paintsville in the virtual press conference today, and the man looks hungry. He looks focused. He looks prime. He looks fit. And you know what? You called a little bit earlier in the show that the Galaxy offense is kind of, tapered off in the last couple games. 2 scoreless games, and I think they're due. I think they're due to go off, and I think the defense is going to carry the day as well. Jalen Neal coming back into the lineup is really, really big. And I expect him to get stronger as the season goes on, including against RSL. I think that the Galaxy defense, being what it is, will probably give up a set piece score or something like that, because that's the Galaxy thing to do, is give up a set piece goal. But yeah, I think that for the most part they'll manage the game. You're talking about game management. I think for the most part they'll be able to manage this game. They'll be at home. It's going to be high energy. It's going to be Star Wars night. A couple of players are coming back. The crowd's going to be behind them, and more importantly, the opportunity to go back into first place is on the table. So I think all that is going to have the boys pumped up. They're going to come out, get an early goal. RSL will probably tie it up, and then they'll go ahead and get that winning goal at some point. But yeah, I'm calling a 2-1 Galaxy win, and so I guess we'll just have to see who's right.
Yeah, I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. But yeah, again, given that Alex seems to be more confident on the road than it is at home, that kind of worries me a little bit too. But hey, I'll take the 3 points. And like I said, we've got a tough 2-game road trip coming up against 2 pretty decent teams, Minnesota and Charlotte. So we need those points banked early in the season, like I always say, Robert. Long season.
Yes, it is a long season, and man, it's just really good to see the Galaxy even in this conversation, because last year they were nowhere near this. So it's incredible to be talking about them in match for first place. But we want to say thank you to our special guest, Alex Napolis, for hanging out with us today. Alex, really quick, before we get out of here, please let the folk know where they can catch your coverage, where you're at online, and and if they want to scout RSL in the coming weeks, because I have a feeling that we'll be doing a lot of looking over our shoulder at RSL, and RSL will be doing a lot of looking over the shoulder of Galaxy. Where can the folk find you to read up on game?
For sure. For any Real Slate content that me or my boys put out, you can follow us on X at RSL Show. You can find us on Instagram at RSL Show. There we like to post highlights, interviews, try to just get as much Real Slate content out as much as possible. You can find me personally on X at Napolis Alex, and on Instagram at Napolis Alex as well. And then there you get some RSL coverage and a lot of other Utah sports coverage as well.
Do you do that that Monarchs coverage as well?
A little bit, not as much as Real Salt Lake, but we do keep an eye on the Monarchs.
The Galaxy second team, VCFC, will be playing the Monarchs at their first home match at their new home. I believe that's on the 19th. I could be wrong on that. I did call that out at the beginning of the show, but yeah, man, if we need any deets on that match, we'll know where to go. You or your boys holding it down over there for everything you need to know about RSL. Anandita, do you need to tell the people anything else before we get on out of here?
No, I just want to say thanks, chat, always for hanging out with us. And thank you, Alex, for hanging out with us as well and giving us all this amazing info about RSL. And guys, like, I think we've painted a pretty clear picture here that this game is going to be a tough one for the Galaxy. But like Robert said, hopefully they come in with that killer instinct, just like JP said in his interview today or in the press conference. And yeah, looking forward to a really entertaining game. That's what I'm hoping for. I have a feeling this is going to be a really entertaining game going back and forth against two really good sides, top of the Western Conference.
Well, guys, if you're here it's because you found us on youtube.com/@La Cuna Galaxiana. If you love someone, go ahead and put them on. Let them know what's up. Let them know to like, let them know to subscribe. Let them know to go ahead and like and subscribe to RSL show as well across the aisle for our RSL coverage. Go ahead and hang with us on Monday for a live match reaction with the great and incredible Joe Tutino. That'll be Monday, May 13th at 9 p.m. Of course, if you are subbed, you'll already know because your phone will tell you, hey, this is happening. Go ahead and find us on all our socials at La Cuna Galaxiana. And yeah, after RSL, guys, the Galaxy is back on the road. They'll travel to Minnesota on Wednesday, May 15th at 5:30 p.m. We'll go ahead and bring you a game preview, a mini abbreviated game preview there on May 13th as well, after Joe hops off with us. And then the Galaxy will be playing just a couple days later on Wednesday. Ananda, Alex, only one thing left to say, yeah? G's up. Thanks, y'all.